Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the Bears Den. How is everyone doing today, guys? Hope you're all having a great day today. It is Tuesday, it is talk show time. So, with that being said, guys, we have a lot. It's weird. Like, this week was kind of a slow week, but we still have, like, I've freaking got like 14 things I want to say. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 things. Yeah, I mean, it's insane the amount of stuff that I have. Alex, I know he has less because I told him like Sunday or something like that. Hey, this is how much I've got. So, I don't know if we'll get to everything because some of it isn't really video game related. So there's that. But it makes it looks like Alex is having a limerita. I myself am having a Sam Adams cold snap. Kind of can't see. Shit. Damn it. There. Sam Adams cold snap. That's what I'm having. Haha. The magic of trying to actually figure out how light works. Yay! If you observe it, it works one way. If you don't observe it, it works a different way. Kind of. Blue Spoons, welcome. Yes, have those pride cheers. Yes, exactly. Having an Angry Orchard cider. Might have to look into that some. By the way, sorry that I'm coughing. No, I don't have COVID. I'm just a little under the weather kind of a thing. So sorry if I cough a lot. I'm not trying to. But with that being said, guys, let us dive into the fun goodness and get things going.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Jake. And hello, how are you?
Doing good. Little under the weather, but hey, I'm gonna struggle through it, and because hey, there's all sorts of fun goodness to talk about this week.
Mm-hmm.
Fun goodness.
No, there is. There's like a
Oh
ton
yeah, well
of
yeah,
good
yeah,
news,
yeah.
which
I
is great.
mean, I actually even branched out, got some stuff that was not video game related, but it's like, depending, seeing how much I wind up grabbing, it's like, yeah, we'll cut those things that aren't really video game related, just because we don't need them.
That is fair. Let me turn mine down a little bit.
Just a little poopy today. Yourself feeling? Yeah. Sorry that you're not feeling well there, Blue. Also,
Hey, Blue. Sorry you're not feeling good.
hey Jake, how are you doing? Hope things are going well for you.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that, Jake. That is on the list. The first and foremost thing that I want to talk about, however, is holy shit, 69 billion with a B
I was
dollar
gonna say,
purchase.
I was gonna say,
With a B.
get that like amount of money correct there, because dear God, yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's the first thing I would like to talk about because that is crazy town money. Also, a huge purchase acquisition. I honestly, I weirdly feel like Microsoft has gone, okay, fuck it. If we can't win on the in-house, like fucking, because that's what all people who are Sony fans talk about is like, oh, look at all their fucking exclusives. They're just like, fuck it, we're gonna go Disney's route and just buy everybody in the universe.
Yeah,
That is certainly another answer. Like,
yeah,
fuck it, like just buy everybody.
yeah. Very
Um,
true. Very true.
so yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. So first and foremost, the first thing that I want to talk about, I know this is really early into the show to be like, let's blow our load on this fucking conversation, but I want to talk about this.
Had to go there.
Yep, sure did. That's what I think that might be a new record for talking about blowing loads.
Hey, we're 7 minutes into the show. Why not? Let's go there
About
already.
appropriate. So let's grab this. I'm gonna grab this little Jim and then this. So we're gonna talk about the things that happened during Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. this is like obviously ridiculous news. The like what only last year was when they bought ZeniMax.
Hmm. Yep.
And so we're now talking about in 2 years they've spent what was ZeniMax 150 billion? Is that right? Or 120 billion?
No,
120 billion?
ZeniMax was actually a lot less than
43 billion. I think it was 43 billion.
um.
Um, it was in the billions range. You Google. Um, it was still a ridiculous amount of money and a ridiculous acquisition, right? Like, who thought that they were going to come out swinging that big dick energy? And then this happens.
Yep.
Yep, we're going to talk about that too, Jake. I think that's a concern for it as well. Like that's the whole point, right? Is like seeing what's going to happen to Kotick, but we're going to talk about that as well.
Uh-huh.
Um,
By the way, they bought Bethesda ZeniMax Media for 1/10 what they just bought or are in talks of buying Activision Blizzard for.
so they bought it for
7.5 billion is what they bought
wow,
Bethesda for.
damn, dude. If you really like think about like uh value, I know at the time we were like, holy shit, $7 billion. But that's a huge buy for $7 billion looking at
Yep.
this
Oh
by
yeah.
comparison.
Oh yeah.
But let's start talking some like logistics stuff. So a lot of this got outed by the New York Times, which is interesting. I didn't even realize. Well, I guess they do cover a lot of financial shit, so that does make sense.
Yeah, it's right up their alley.
Yep. But $69 billion. Fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
That is Disney fuck you money.
Mhm.
Like that is Disney fuck you money. So let's just quickly look at some of the things that they purchased and then what those things actually have underneath them. So the list of studios that falls underneath this, obviously, Blizzard, duh. Beanox, Demonware, Digital Legends, High Moon Studios, Infinity Ward, duh. King. This was another one that I was like, whoa. Major League Gaming, Radical Entertainment, Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games, Toys for Bob, and finally Treyarch. So that is a lot of fucking ground to cover. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best. I'm going to be bopping back and forth between the chat and the Word doc that I have because I got a bunch of numbers and shit that I want to like talk about and explain. So let's just kind of start off here. So Blizzard, does Blizzard need a fucking introduction like on this show?
I would hope not, but
Like
yeah.
I kind of be like let's because some of this we could just skim over, right? Like
Yeah.
Blizzard. We all know Blizzard. Like,
Yeah.
let's not even
For at least one thing or another, we know Blizzard. Yes,
right. Like every person in the gaming community, probably. In all honesty,
I would seriously hope so. At least,
right. So the other thing I noticed, this is not alphabetical, which I kind of wish it was. I wish I had thought to do that.
yeah.
Anyways, the first one, the second one was Beanox. They are a Canadian, Quebec specifically, company. They kind of got their start in COD Modern Warfare. So,
Okay.
in my estimation, probably the best COD, arguably,
Which Modern Warfare? The recent reboot?
Modern Warfare, the original,
or the original?
2008.
Okay.
The 2008 Modern Warfare. Then I started digging into other titles that they have done and worked on. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions from 2010, the one where it was multiple Spider-Mans.
Okay.
The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, the movie tie-in games. That was 2012 and 2014, respectively.
Okay.
This was another one that I was like, oh, I kind of love these guys now. They also did Ultimate Spider-Man from 2005, the one that was cell shaded and actually had good rope swinging physics. I point to that to one of the best Spider-Man games.
Okay.
Um, I love that game, and it's based on a great property because Ultimate Spider-Man's badass. Um, then coincidentally, I noticed this on the list: the B movie. Okay, that's a little on the nose. Like if you were shopping that property around, did they just like type in the word B and game and then just stopped at Knox? They went, yeah, they clearly be able to do this.
Yeah.
Um, right there, clearly a company that and actually I also cut off a bunch of other Spider-Man titles. I'm trying to cherry pick the best shit that we can talk about to try to,
Yeah.
ignore garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, good company, good pickup.
Mm,
Hey, that's quality shit. They had also been working in the background of several other Modern Warfare games, but more as a helping studio.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, so let's move on. Demonware, a company I did not know anything about.
Yeah.
So I Googled them. Demonware, they're on their first web page, on their home thing. The first thing it says, create, provide, and host. Every time he walks in, he's the coffeeest person ever. um, uh, they create, provide, and host online services. So my assumption, after doing a little more digging, was completely correct. They basically are the service providers for all of their servers for Activision in general.
Okay. All right. That
Uh,
definitely makes it a lot easier for Activision as far as finding online servers for that are easy to set up and whatnot for their games. So
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest thing in there is just like EA, like companies that are that big, they don't want to pay Amazon for that shit. No,
yeah.
fuck it, build our own. That way, we have our own IT support if Amazon goes down, which literally we have seen within
Yep.
like what the last month.
Uh
Um,
was it last month?
uh,
Recently. Recently.
recently,
Within the last couple of months, yeah, we've seen that.
right? The smartest play there is to fuck it, build your own. So that's just good. Not that Microsoft really needs any sort of additional server support, but you do get a bunch of free. If that's a little too close, that looks like it was a little too close. Um, you get a bunch of free online service provider people that you could roll anywhere else you wanted to within the company. If there was teams that needed more speciality in online games, bam, you got a wealth of people that you
Mhm.
could move around.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. That
Yeah.
that's a good pickup. Um, okay. Sorry if I'm trying. I'm not trying to do this fast, but I'm trying to do it a little fast because we
Yeah,
still do have a
you're
bunch of other
fine.
stuff to
You're
go.
fine,
Okay.
dude.
Okay. Okay. Let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. Anybody in chat or Rich, obviously,
Yeah.
just let me know.
Yeah.
All right. So after Demonware, we have Digital Legends, who I had never heard of. Literally never heard of that team.
I want to say I've heard of them, but at the same point
Well,
in time, I'm not entirely certain.
I did again. I did a deep dive. They made three games that really stuck out to me. After Pulse in 2015, Respawnable Heroes, and Split Second. Then I was like, no, the Disney Corporation made Split Second. So I went and did a little bit more deep. The entire company is a mobile division.
Hmm. Okay.
They're a mobile division. They basically do mobile ports. As a matter of fact, they even did one for Bad Company 2
Hmm.
for EA way back in the day before they got acquired, I'm assuming. Um, so again, I mean, we all know mobile makes money,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
definitely. Yep.
So free mobile company that comes like you obviously wouldn't like buy Activision Blizzard to be like, yes, it was all for Digital Legends.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
That'd be a little weird if they went for that.
that'd be a smidge aggressive. God damn, like this fucking Limerita. Ooh, I can't even imagine a guy in the marketing team being able to take a swig of this like on camera and not grimace. This is not a margarita. This is like what fucking Budweiser thinks a margarita tastes like. Ooh.
Hmm.
Um, moving on, High Moon Studios. Interestingly, I did know High Moon Studios, but I didn't remember some of their work. Um, so the first thing that popped out to me was they did the excellent Transformers series from 2010 to 2012.
Hmm.
War on Cybertron,
Yeah.
and I can't remember what the sequel name was. I don't know, Aftershock. There we go. But they had like that online component. On the second one, you could actually be both the Autobots and the Decepticons. It was actually a pretty well done story. I like those series. So
Okay.
that's where High Moon had kind of come to my attention. Um, the other one from 2008, The Bourne Conspiracy. So, yet another Activision team that I'm assuming they just were like, hey, we got a movie license, fart a game out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I had never played Bourne Conspiracy, so can't say much to that. But the other one that they made, Deadpool 2013.
Really? Hmm.
Yes, that was received well. Yeah, like that shows I mean they're all third person if you want to talk about it in
Okay.
those terms. Um, but that does definitely show some variety in what your studio can do, you know, because one's a comedy game, one's obviously a more serious kind of thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
Um, and then the Transformers, like shit, that was the first good Transformers. Shit, to this day, it's probably the best Transformers games. And Platinum took a swing at it and didn't do it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so you know, High Moon Studios, good pickup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
Like, right? Can we just stop there?
Yeah.
Duh. You bought Infinity Ward. So basically, you now own Modern Warfare. Cool.
Hmm.
Like, million, trillion dollar fucking, you know, cool. Moving on. The other one that I really didn't recognize was King. That was all it was called. It
Yeah.
was actually kind of hard to Google and figure out what the like, you know, because you could be studios or games or entertainment or ink.
Hmm.
But I found it. Uh,
Yep.
you know what it was?
Candy Crush.
That's right. Candy Crush Mobile Studio and the Bubble Witch series, which I have played since the beginning. It's like one of those, you
Yep.
know, ones where you angle and pow.
Yeah.
I love those games.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're fun.
Yeah, they are. But again, do we have to talk more about Candy Crush?
Yeah.
That game be crushing dollars. That's what it be
Hmm.
crushing. Um, Also Farm Heroes, which apparently is a kind of semi long running, kind of like remember when the Farmville and all that shit?
Ah. Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, I mean, dude, those mobile companies, they caught, you know, you get 60 dudes and one idea takes off and bammo, you've made millions and millions of dollars
Oh yeah.
off of something that takes you
Very little
shit.
time to create.
Right, I made a mobile game in less than 6 weeks
Hmm.
with 3 guys. Like, okay. So very high profitability margin there.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Um, the other one, I have played DP, played a bit, still haven't beaten it. Yeah, I mean, it gets a little repetitive. Deadpool gets a little repetitive. Um, just getting one successful, yeah, right. Getting one successful mobile company is a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because again, you can produce those games for ostensibly nothing and then end up with a huge title that
Hmm.
be crushing it. Boom, look at that. Good fucking
Nice.
move.
Nice.
Thank you. Um, so that's a huge pickup. Um, Next, the other one that I thought was kind of crazy. I didn't realize that Blizzard and Activision owned Major League Gaming,
I
MLG.
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
They picked it up. I did a little research. They picked it up around 2011, 2012. Not that it's a huge deal as much anymore, but MLG was, at least for the States, a huge esport in the beginning. Like
Mhm.
they were bundling
Oh yeah,
tons of games, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Um, how useful that is now? Well, you got a bunch of
Well,
guys who are really skilled at production
yeah,
for putting on an esport. Does that make sense?
yeah. Definitely can see it going that direction as far as if they wanted to use this as a launching pad to get into the esports.
Right.
Um,
If you ended up having a hit,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean, working in MLG a few years back, so it's still pretty prominent. Yeah, like I
yeah,
mean, we all know MLG, right?
hmm,
Like still to this day in 2022.
yeah,
So that's still a pretty damn good pickup.
hmm.
Um, moving on, Radical Entertainment. This one was a real surprise to me because I didn't realize that Radical Entertainment had been around since 1992. You're trying to think of a title now, aren't you?
Yeah, because I know I've played games by them.
Yep.
I just
So
can't
I'll
think of
just
any.
do this.
Yeah, let's
That's
just
fair. That's fair.
keep it
Let's
moving.
just let's just start here. The first two titles that they ever put out were for the NES.
Oh
And those
wow.
two, yes, that's how old Radical Entertainment is. Radical Entertainment, the first title they ever put out was Rocky and Bullwinkle on the NES. A pretty shit game, but was a part of the original 800 library of the NES. The
Mhm.
other title that they put out on the NES was The Terminator.
Oh god.
Yes, the one that fucking Angry Video Game Nerd did an entire episode about.
Ouch.
That one. That's Radical
Yep.
Entertainment. Um, Other series of note, they are the guys who made Simpsons Road Rage.
Oh geez.
People to this day talk about how good that game is. That it was basically a better, what do they call it? The taxi one, Crazy Taxi.
Yep.
Um, so now Microsoft could basically still do a reboot kind of a thing if they just got the license for The Simpsons again,
Hmm.
which at this point I'm assuming is like, I don't know, having candy in a parking lot and just being like, "Hey, here's $5."
Yeah.
Um, the other one that stuck out to me, they did the entirety of the CSI trilogy on the Xbox
Oh,
360, PlayStation 3.
interesting.
That, yep, that stuck out to me because look at how different like these titles are. I mean, also widely time wise, right?
Oh,
Like
oh yeah.
Simpsons Road Rage was a PS2 game, Xbox. Um, then it took them an entire like they're like they're running like generational skips before like in between their titles. Um, but
Yes, no, because I'm looking. I actually
yeah, you're
googled
looking
them,
at the full list. Yeah.
looking at the full list, and some of these games, it's like, oh wow, holy crap, they did that, and
Hmm.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
that they have
Um,
a sizable list of canceled games.
yeah, that's you don't necessarily want that on your resume, but
Yeah, but
um the next one that came to my note, well, and I'll also say this, I like those CSI games. They were all easy 1,000 point achievement when I was gamer score whoring super hard, so I beat all of those. Um yeah, I got a lot of affinity for those. Next one that stuck out to me, the Hulk, the one on the
Mhm,
360, the first good Hulk game where you could actually smash two like one car and like make boxing gloves out of them and like
mhm,
jump through the air like with this traversal stuff, which leads perfectly into the next two games that they made, Prototype 1 and 2.
mhm.
You could see how the Hulk was a prototype of those two titles.
Yep,
And I like Prototype. I thought that was a fun series.
yep.
Um oh god, you're just looking at the list. AVGN destroyed so many of these games. Yeah, that's true. That is fair.
Hmm.
Um Next, the last thing that I pulled out of any real note, they did do support work for Destiny, the original.
Yeah, that's
Um,
actually interesting.
Notable.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so Radical Entertainment right there, all the way back from 1992, they have been stuck around so long that not only did they get absorbed by a major corporation like fucking Activision Blizzard, but they maintained their work so well that they didn't just go, all right, fuck that company and absorb them with all their black little tentacles back into the mass that is Activision Blizzard. They are still Radical Entertainment.
Yep.
Great pickup.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
like if this was a like a sports show about like who's getting who new rookies are getting into their team and like that's an A tier pickup. That's an
Oh,
A
oh
tier
yeah.
pickup for
Yeah,
me.
definitely.
Like
I mean,
um
especially when you look at the full list of games that they've done, and
right.
it's just like, oh wow, they actually did a lot of games. Some of them were sleepers, some of them were hits, and it's just like, okay, this is an impressive resume of games.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason that why like literally at this point they've been around for what 30 years?
Hmm.
1992 to 2022.
Yep.
Like, damn, good stuff. Like, Radical Entertainment, like, good shit.
Plus,
Um,
plus also the simple fact of being able to say that, hey, they've looking down the list of games, yeah, that since the no, not every system, every generation, but pretty much every single generation since the Nintendo, they
right.
have released at least one game for.
And
And
some even handhelds
yes.
like GBA Advance. Like
Hmm.
they like that is a quality pickup studio.
Yep.
Like there, I can't go like nitpick. I like Radical kicks ass.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, good stuff.
Hmm.
Um, which leads me directly into what I can only hope is the best pickup of them all, Raven Software. I love Raven Software so very much. They were huge in the first person shooter scene back in the day around, Build Engine days, Quake Engine days.
Hmm.
They made Heretic, they made Hexen 1 and 2. Heretic technically is also part of that series. Don't want to be that guy, but
Yeah.
also it's true.
Yeah.
Um, they made Star Wars Jedi Academy from
Hmm.
2003. That game is to this day lauded as one of the greatest Star Wars titles to ever be launched.
Hmm.
Like, fuck yeah, let's go. The Wolfenstein on original Xbox. Um, I actually think that was a pretty goddamn good fucking Wolfenstein game. Little arcadey, but I feel like that kind of linked to its original roots. I also have a little bit of a soft spot for Wolfenstein.
Yeah. Okay.
They also made the X-Men Legends series, the
Ooh,
RPGs. Yes,
nice.
the 360 PS3 era ones, which kind of universally everybody's liked. Um, and then they got purchased by Activision Blizzard and were locked in a cage to literally make COD for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
Sorry.
um, hey, what's going on, Plinky? Um, uh, Hexen and Heretic totally kick ass.
Hmm.
And I love those build engine games. I just always have. Blood is one of the greatest first person shooters of all time. Fight me. Um, I honestly, the fact that you now have Raven Software again, a studio that is so good that you didn't break them up and dismantle them. You let them to their own devices. Um,
Hmm.
and yes, they were locked in the COD cupboard, but their years and years and years and years of experience in first person shooters, they still retained their own studio and identity.
Yeah.
So I kind of, part of me hopes that they just go, hey, Raven, now that we've taken the shackles off, what's the next first person shooter you envision?
Yeah.
What would you guys like to do?
The one thing I will add to their list of games and resume that you're touting here, um, I want to say it was about a month ago. We had a piece about a remaster of Quake and a
Yes.
expansion. That was done by them.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's definitely
And
they're good at what they do.
isn't it crazy that now that, and again, I'm so like, it's weird because I'm like anti monopoly, but at the same time, in this particular instance, now ZeniMax and Bethesda, which means id Software, are all now Raven is all under the same umbrella. That means we could see a legendary
Hmm.
combo come to fucking fruition
Oh
where we
god,
could
yeah.
be like, dude, could there be a resurgence of Quake in the new school era?
I hope so.
God, that'd be
Honestly, I
so,
really hope so. Have a
that'd be
have
amazing.
a yeah. I'm just at a lack of words at the moment, but yeah, whether it be Twitch shooter or like horror shooter kind of
Mhm.
a theme to it or genre, I guess is what it would be. Either way, I really think it would be really cool to see a revival of Quake.
I agree.
Going back to the original roots of it, not like the Quake Arena stuff.
Sure.
That's cool and all if you just want a Twitch shooter to kill time, literally. But going back to the original roots of Quake and Quake 2, that would be cool to see a revival of that.
Well, and looking at the success of Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, it's more than probably crossed their minds.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
Definitely.
like okay, now we have all these pieces that have like fallen into place. Doom is popular again. Fuck it. Why? Shit, dude. Oh my god. The only thing that's weird about Quake, they tried their best to not say that it's like in hell because you don't want to step on your own IP's toes,
Yeah.
but it was very similar in vein. It was more Cthulhu-esque, or Eldritch, I guess would be the better way to say it. But
Mhm.
dude, you we could, for the first time ever, have like a monster verse for a first person shooter. Could you imagine how fucking cool it would be if we got the Doom guy versus the actual Space Marine from Quake, and you play it two different, like, and those two universes intersect now? I'm here for it, I guess is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that
Um,
would definitely be interesting.
That'd be crazy, dude.
Yeah. The thing I'm kind of curious of, Night Dive. Does Microsoft own them as well?
So they weren't listed, but I think that yes.
Okay, because I was gonna say they're the ones that are behind Blood.
Yes.
So
But
if they own
Blood,
them as well, then it's like, oh my god, what the heck?
dude, oh my god. Could you imagine a title? Oh my god. Oh man, somebody hire me quick. Um, could you imagine a first person shooter where you start off the game and the first third is build engine, and then you go to the polygonal fucking third, like when we first started getting 3D, and then the last third, the third act is like in today's graphics. Oh, dude,
So go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm getting a little bit hard just thinking about that. Like where it literally changes, like because only Microsoft would have, that kind of fucking big dick energy money
Yeah,
to pay for literally basically three games in one. But man, that'd be awesome.
yeah. So basically, that would be like Evoland,
Yes. Yes.
except in a first-person shooter perspective, kind of a thing. Game
Correct.
that would actually be really kind of cool.
That would be awesome to like literally be playing what?
Get the hose out and cool down, cool.
Yeah, seriously, legitimately. Um,
uh,
I just think that idea is brilliant, right? Like,
yeah,
because if you, even if you had to make, and I know the build engine is super fiddly, I know that's a problem with it, right?
yeah.
Um, but if you made three dedicated engines for this, the everything afterwards, you would just have an engine. If you wanted to do another like build engine, you wanted to do another 3D old school shooter,
Oh yeah.
polygonal age. And I mean, literally, you could just take the engine from fucking Doom 2016 and be like, there's the third act done.
Yep.
um I think that could be unbelievably cool. um
And
and go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm just gonna say, like, an indie game is never going to have the money or bodies to make something like that come to fruition.
Mhm.
This would be something where you actually would have to rely on AAA dollars to
Yeah,
make this like come to life.
yeah. Um, looking at that whole like three engine kind of system there, if you then take the revamped build engine, we'll call it,
Sure.
and want to then take it and be like, hey, we've got these other IPs that are fresh and to our own. Let's make games off those.
Right.
You can do that fairly simply. It's not
Right.
like having to completely and totally reinvent the wheel the whole time.
Right.
It's
Uh,
you can do it. It takes a little bit of money, a little bit of time, but you can do it.
I think 3D Realms just made one. I believe it was originally called Iron Maiden, and then they got sued by Iron Maiden because
Mm.
Iron Maiden, yeah, and then it became Ion Storm.
And they're
Um,
still suing them
yeah, I know. Just like,
because the font.
yeah,
It's like,
whatever.
really, guys?
Yeah, exactly. Like you guys don't have enough money, right?
Yeah.
Ion Maiden, that's what it is. So they removed one letter. That
Yep.
was their answer. Um, So yeah, I think like something like that like would just be perfect for that like old school vibe because Ion Maiden is a beautiful build engine game.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Um so now that we're done splooging over fucking Raven, um we can move on. Uh Sledgehammer games. Do we have to do a big one on this? Can we do a fast one on this?
Just do a fast one. I know I've played games by them. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
Okay, so Sledgehammer Games was actually made initially to do um, side material. Basically, the multiplayer for Black Ops, I believe, was the first thing that they ever did. They specifically made all of the multiplayer. At that time, Treyarch just did the single player for it, and Sledgehammer made the multiplayer. Which, by the way, that multiplayer was actually very good.
Yep.
Um, but then I'm going to put this out with a caveat. They were given full reins on Advanced Warfare, the one with the robot legs.
Mm-hmm.
And they also did the World War II one that came out like a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Um, you know, good support studio, so that's a good pickup, right? Like anybody
Mm-hmm.
who can support, that's nice. And really seriously, when they were just doing one or the other, I thought the work was excellent. But when you handed them the story reins,
Give them the keys to the castle. It was kind of like, yeah.
yeah, I think this is more of a hey, you want a good multiplayer experience? Okay, let's ask Sledgehammer to do that. They are clearly not very good at story. Um, Still a good pickup, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so next, second to last, we have Toys for Bob. I didn't realize that Toys for Bob was as old as it is. Toys for Bob has been around since 1990.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Actually older than what the fuck were we talking about earlier? Radical, which is crazy to me. Um, um, Now here's the thing that I'm gonna preface this first. This is the thing that I'm most impressed with by this company. Their variety of games that they put out and the entirety that they rip shit up and down is super impressive. Toys for Bob actually made Star Control 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Star Control 1 and 2 are space games. They are space simulators. Highly touted. As a matter of fact, there was a Kickstarter a couple of years ago, I want to say 2019, that the original creators of Star Control wanted to basically make a spiritual successor. And they wouldn't let them use the story or the characters in a space game, which is a little weird, but they still let them keep the name. So the Kickstarter is still called Star Control, which is a terrible title. Like Star Control, Madam, please control your stars. Like I don't know, it's just weird,
Yep.
but whatever. Um, Star Control 1 and 2, then The Horde, a game from I think 94, which was An RTS game. I actually owned this game back in the day on PC, where you ran around with a bunch of demon minions, and all you tried to do was burn down medieval villages and pillage shit and eat piggies, and it had this real like cartoony vibe. Um, it had a couple of good CG scenes. It was very comedic in tone. Kind of reminded me of what Overlord wanted to be. But
Hmm.
Overlord didn't go all in with it. But still very different. Then they made the now recent Crash and Spyro trilogies, as
Hmm.
Jake pointed out.
Yep.
I don't know why I just hit that button. Get the fuck out of here. I hit accessibility for some reason. Um, which both those trilogies came out good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
People liked them. They and especially Spyro.
Hmm.
The Crash one got a little bit of flack because of hitboxes. Basically, Crash was a little bit slidier than he
Yeah.
was in the initial, because he was a little rounder and everything, so he slid a little bit more. But Spyro, people were like, "Dude, this is actually almost better than the
Hmm.
original." Like it's fantastic, dude. You did two trilogies. Oh man, Mega Man. I love that music. Anytime like that happens to me sometimes.
That's fine.
Um, and then the most recent, Crash 4. It's
Yep.
about time. They
Yep.
also made that from scratch. People welcomed that with open arms. Really, really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Felt like the original with an all new story. That's hard to do. If I write a book, do you think that you could write a continuation for me and people would like it?
Yeah, I mean, that, like you said, that would be very hard to do, to pick up where someone else's vision was and continue it.
Without it being Game of Thrones season 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like um the last one is Treyarch. What do we even have to say here? I
Yeah.
mean, you made multiplayer zombies. Good shit. Thank you. Literally is a tent pole in that series.
Hmm.
Um World at War was pretty good. Uh Black Ops, obviously. Not all of them.
Yeah.
3 was a fucking pile of shit, but Black Ops 1 spawned an entire another subgenre underneath the name, like Call of Duty.
Yep.
So, I mean, how good do you have to do that, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
and again, I know we all bag on Modern Warfare players and their player base, but the fact of the matter is, you're a newcomer to that, and they're trading on and off, right? So Infinity Ward makes one year, and then Treyarch is making another one, and then Sledgehammer later on became the third one. Um, but the fact that Treyarch came in and kind of knocked it out of the park, and most people really, really like the titles that they made, except for Black Ops 3. Um, Good pickup, great
Yeah.
pickup.
Yeah.
Um, so that is the end of the titles that they got. There's a couple of other things I just want to touch on. I know we've been doing this for 46 minutes, and I knew this was gonna fucking happen because I wanted to talk about this, dude. Like, this is a huge acquisition. Um,
Oh god, yeah.
we'll go back to the first thing that the first person in my chat said, Jake. Um, Bobby Kotick, the current CEO of Activision Blizzard. Um, as it stands right now, once the ink has dried, that motherfucker is out the door.
Yep.
Thank God. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Microsoft. This also goes back to I think it was last week or the week before last when we were talking about, remember that response from Microsoft when they were
Yes.
like, they know what is expected of them?
Hmm.
Now it makes so much more sense, right? Like that, oh, dude, this was already in the works, and you get out, and things are gonna hard change here.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it has been announced.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that the interesting thing here is, a I feel better already. right?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like, okay, cool. Then there's the other side of me, which goes, damn, well, guess you're going to be a big bland company from now on because, dude, Microsoft ain't putting up with that shit. Like, they're just not. Like, you have like a complaint, maybe two, and they're like, pack your shit, go.
Yeah.
Like, the other side of that coin, the like that I really like, I don't think I've ever heard one time that Microsoft has ever not treated employees equally or paid employees equally. It's basically based on the position and what
Mhm.
work you do, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
So you might be signing on with a butter sandwich, a bland butter sandwich, but at least like the consistency is there, you know?
Yep. Yep. And obviously, with them, it's also a thing of, oh, you're doing really good work. Oh, okay, cool. Let's promote you, or let's give you that raise that hopefully you've been wanting, and things like that. So
Right.
it is. You said it perfectly. Knowing that Microsoft is now buying up Activision Blizzard, and they have announced that once all the ink is dry on this deal, they are booting Kotick to the fucking road. They're taking him out with the rest of the trash. It's like, okay, that makes me feel better as far as about Activision Blizzard. Does it mean I'm going to sit there and be like, oh, hey, I'm going to reinstall Diablo 3 or
No,
2 or whatever? No, no, it doesn't.
no,
It's, for me, it's a thing of, okay, this is the first step on their road to redemption.
right,
It does not mean I'm going to immediately go back and be like, oh, hey, I want to go back and play more Activision Blizzard games.
right.
No, they need to do a lot more work to actually have me come back and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to play this, and it actually looks really good, and I'm happy to say that.
Yep.
So
Yeah, but at the very least,
yes, yes,
small little golf claps. Let's go.
hmm
Get these fucks out. Like, okay, great step. Great
yep,
step. Great step in a direction. Now, you know what the only problem is? That motherfucker is still gonna leave with his golden parachute.
yeah,
Like
unfortunately,
there he doesn't have to work for the rest of his life. He doesn't even give a shit. Like the only
yep,
reason he was staying on board was because he just wanted to make sure that like everybody knew he was the big dick, like, you know, fucking HNIC. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like, fuck you. But at least it's something. Fuck him.
true,
Like,
true.
get out. We won't have to see you ever again. He probably will open another company too, which is
Oh
like the
yeah.
most disgusting thing. Um,
Honestly, what I hope for is that he takes all of Kotek and all the rest of the shitlords that have been causing problems in whatever video game studio or development company, whatever. I hope they all band together, make their own company, and call it Toxicity.
and then
Because
we
you know what?
ban them like instantly and nobody buys their game. Like they spend
Exactly.
like $50 billion and we're like, nah, fuck you, dude. Um,
Exactly. That'd be the
yeah,
best thing ever. Because then it's just like, okay, we know where all this shit is. Just
right,
don't go there.
right. I still think that's a great step though, you know, like let Microsoft and they even said even throughout the rest of the ink drying segment that Blizzard Activision is still in charge. Um which to me kind of reads a little bit like yes, they really know that they are still in charge, which is another reason why I'm still not going to give them any money until
Mhm.
the ink is dry. Once the ink is dry, fine. Okay, you put out new titles. I see some actual like change. Good. Fine. I can finally give you some more money. Um, but good start. Next, um, I would just like to point this out. The Wall Street Journal says at $95 a share right now, Activision Blizzard is at an estimated sitting value at $68.7 billion. So again, you paid $69 billion. I mean, I feel like that's what covering your costs, if for nothing else, like, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Covering the
Uh,
lawyer costs is all it was.
right.
Yeah.
God, those guys must make fucking bank.
Yeah.
Um, Still crazy. I did not realize that was the price point that they were sitting at. Then the last point that I have before I let you, for the love of God, take the reins on this, um, is holy shit. Think about how good Game Pass is gonna get.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh my god, dude. There is just this is just a huge acquisition. Again, this is like the fucking buying ZeniMax thing. Remember
Mhm.
when they were like, "Oh yeah, everything is now available. Literally any Bethesda game, any ZeniMax game, any ID software game, it's all on Game Pass." This is just another huge pickup on their point. Like their fucking Game Pass is destroying at this point.
Mhm.
Like crazy town.
Yep.
And not to belabor the point, but man, could you imagine? I don't think this is going to be the case, but could you imagine? Because remember when they were like, hey, we're buying ZeniMax Bethesda.
Mhm.
And they were like, well, no, no, no. Some things are going to still be multi platform and, whatever. And then it came out that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be exclusive to basically Xbox and PC.
Mhm.
Man, you're going to do that to fucking. I'll bet you a gentleman's dollar right here and now. That's exactly what they do with Modern Warfare. Bet you a
Yeah,
gentleman's
I can see
dollar,
that. I can see that.
dude. That would be the hugest pull under the rug. So now you lost all the RPG kids that want to play fucking like, or at the very least, they move to PC because they can get Game Pass,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be the same fucking thing, dude. It's gonna be the same fucking thing. Like, oh no, 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 not everything's gonna be exclusive, and then they're gonna go, we now have Modern Warfare and fucking like Bethesda fucking Elder Scrolls exclusive to now. The cool way to do this. It's not just our console. I mean, like, come on. Like, we wouldn't be that big of dicks. It's also gonna be on PC. I mean, we'll make all the money, both sides. Literally both sides of it. But yeah, this is that is 100% what I imagine. I can literally almost hear the tears of PlayStation people at this point. And whatever like strands they're trying to grab at, like we still have this. It's like, yeah, okay, well, guess what? In a couple more years, you might not. Like, you might not even have Sony. Like,
Mm,
I read a report earlier today that says Microsoft could buy Sony 2-1.
really?
Yep. So this is a changing of the guards. Now
Oh.
again, remember, none of these companies own us. They don't give a shit about us. They only care about our dollars. So just support who you support, whoever's controller you like best. But fact of the matter is, this is a Disney level move. Like, oh, we can't have the rights to X-Men? Fuck you, we're buying Fox.
Yeah.
We don't even care that we bought CNN. We don't even give a shit. Fuck it, who cares? They bought all of Fox because they wanted the X-Men back. Like, holy shit.
Yep. Savage is sitting here. I can hear the kids crying to their mommies. It's like,
Dude, for
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. Could definitely see that happening. Oof.
Crazy times we live in, my friend.
Oh god, yeah.
Crazy times we live in.
Oh, good lord, yes. Um, was there more on that you want to
That is the
expand, or
finally. Oh yeah, no, I only took up
an hour?
56 minutes with that one topic.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to expand it just a little bit,
Okay.
just to show how much more of a shitlord Kotick has been during the course of the going on 30 years that he's been in charge of Activision or Activision Blizzard. Within the past, I think it was about 2 months, he has been trying to cover up that there have been 37 people leaving the company, either by being told, there's the door, leave, or by them getting up and walking. And another 44 people being disciplined, all in the name of making sure that things don't seem as bad as they are. If you wanted to try making sure that things don't seem as bad as they are, you should have started 30 years ago with how you were treating your employees. Just saying.
That's not how dictators work. They just kick out generals.
Yeah, true.
You know, like that's the root of the problem. Like,
Yeah.
he kind of is the root of the problem,
Hmm.
that he just keeps allowing this shit. So the fact that he's gonna be going, okay,
Yeah.
okay, let's start from scratch. You know, let's work this shit out.
Hmm.
But yeah, what a shitlord to be covering that up for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no hiding that he's been an absolute shitlord in regards to uh, covering up, hiding that kind of culture and behavior, and not only that, but promoting it and letting
Rewarding it.
people get. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, yeah, it's going to be really good when not only he goes, but those that he has been protecting and promoting to get away with that to go
Right,
as well, because
right.
we know Kotek is like the head honcho, but we don't know how many the names of the underlings, kind of a thing. And I
Sure.
guarantee you, once the ink is dry, Kotek's gone, obviously, but
There's gonna be a
but
bunch.
then all the underlings are going to be uh
Well, when Germany got fucking taken back over and it was now like a democracy again, yeah, there was a bunch of dudes who also got get out.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
sorry, dude, fucking Nazi sympathizing fucks. Like, get
Hmm.
out. Like, so yeah, that is definitely gonna be a thing.
Yep.
Um, Cleaning the brood is gonna be a great day. It really is.
Hmm.
And it's probably gonna be like one. Actually, no, probably not. Frankly, they'll probably do it like smaller and the same way that like fucking God, why am I going back to a Nazi reference? But let's keep the analogy going. Nazi scientists weren't all thrown out the door on the same day, nor did they say where they went, because
True.
America, Russia, South American countries wanted those mines for themselves, and they
Hmm.
offered them basically deals to get out of it because they were, basically talented in whatever horrible fucking field they were in. So I wouldn't think that it's going to be one big day like where it's like 40 guys leave and like this mass exodus. No, it's going to be like a quiet affair where a bunch of these motherfuckers escape to other places.
Hmm.
But hopefully they end up, moving to South America and having to like fucking change their identities and say that they're not Brown Schwansternschwitz. They're like fucking I'm Greg from fucking down the street. Like,
I'm John
um,
Doe.
yeah, exactly. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
still good.
Yep.
All right, please. Why don't you go? I'm gonna take a slash while you start this next one. Actually, tell me what the topic is before I go because I'll know exactly what you're talking about.
uh the Xbox One generation of
Ah, yes.
Microsoft
I got you.
consoles.
I got you.
Okay.
I already know the topic.
Yep.
I'm gonna go take a slash. You go do all the things.
Um for as much money as Microsoft has, it's also kind of a sad thing in that Microsoft has now officially put the last nail in the coffin for the Xbox One generation of consoles. They have stopped all production of them, all the consoles that are out there in the wild now or on store shelves or wherever. That is it. There are no more going to ever be made. They have absolutely no intention of being like, oh, hey, let's because the Xbox Series X and S are hard to get your hands on. Let's go make some more of the Xbox Ones. No, they're done with it. They're sitting here saying, okay, we're just going to concentrate on the current gen and moving forward as far as production of consoles. Um, it kind of sucks that uh that's it. But uh I mean, what else can you really say? Knowing that the current gen has a huge supply issue with getting the chips for the current gen of consoles, and now sitting here going, oh yeah, last gen consoles, boop, let's put them 6 feet under. It, it's kind of a weird spot to put yourself in, to be honest. What do you think?
I I kind of disagree because you're right. Um, but it's also okay. You're fighting a pandemic at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Probably
like,
bigger
what do you
and
say?
better.
No. Um, So I think that it's probably smarter, right? Like put your eggs in the new school basket because we don't have enough new school consoles. You probably floating around already have enough, not surplus, but enough to cover people who want to pick up an Xbox One S. That probably is okay. My assumption is that if that is the case, right? So let's say you've made a million units right now. So you have a million Xbox One S. Um, uh, why was that deleted? Okay. Um, oh, I had a moderator do it, so it's fine. Um, so you have a million Xbox One S units already out in the field wherever they are, and because of the pandemic, you can't make new Xbox One XX whatever. God, they've really got to get a better naming convention for the love of God. Just
Yes.
start numbering them for the love of fuck. Anyways, um, I think that that might be smart to kind of focus on what is more important because we don't even have enough consoles to go around right now. And you
Hmm.
want to usher people into this new current gen being, the Xbox Series X, whatever. Jesus fucking Christ. You want to move people to PlayStation 5 era. Um, I thank you, Jake, by the way. Um, I think that might be a smart move. It is a little crazy because we've never had this problem before. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
every other like I has never been an issue with shortage of resources other than the base units. Now
Hmm.
it's like, dude, you can't even get chipsets,
Yep. Yeah.
boards, like Um, so it's probably smart. It is crazy though to be like so soon because think about how long the PlayStation 2 lasted
Hmm.
into the PlayStation 3's life set.
Yep. Yep.
Like almost more than half of
Hmm.
that PlayStation 3, they were still producing PS2s because those things were still selling. So it's like fuck it. Um,
It.
so it's
Go ahead.
good. No, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say it's funny that you bring up the PlayStation 2 still being produced into the PlayStation 3 era because if you look at the opposite side of the coin, Sony announced that they're doing that. They're going to
Right.
ramp up PS4
Fours.
production because they know PS5s are impossible to get. There's like 12 out there in the world. So
Right.
they decided, okay, hey, yes, it sucks that it's not the latest gen and you want the latest gen, but the PS4 has a immensely larger library currently than the
True.
PS5. Most of the games that are available on the PS5 are available on the PS4.
True.
So it's kind of like, why not? Kind of a
I
thing.
my my thought process probably goes to the fact of okay, so we have the PS4, the PS5. People still want the PS4.
Hmm.
People kind of don't give a shit about the PS5 because of the library. You're right. You kind of hit the nail on the nose right now.
Yeah.
Xbox, everything is backwards compatible. Doesn't matter. Like you get the new Xbox, you can play everything backwards compatible from last generation. So their thought is probably, why the fuck are we doing this when if we get to a point where we make enough Xbox Series X's, um, maybe we could lower our prices ahead of Sony. So you could get into the next generation at a lower price point. If there's more of them available, then maybe we could lower ours from the 499 or whatever it is brand new to even call it 399 before Sony gets to do that exact same thing.
Right. Right.
So you're right. It's literally two takes on the exact same problem. It is one company's going, fuck it. You know what? Fuck that last generation. If we put out enough of this new gen, we get to lower the price to much closer to what you currently could buy. Because I mean, shit, right now you can't even buy a fucking an Xbox Series S, which is last gen,
Hmm.
for anything more or anything less than like almost $400
Yep.
because there's just so little of them.
Yep.
And this unlike most other things in the technological industry where people go artificial scarcity kind of a thing, this is just because of the 2.5 years at this point where we've been in this bullshit.
Yep.
So it's just two companies' perspectives on like, okay, what do we do? All right,
What
well, we already have we have a bunch of shells for the PlayStation 4. Fuck it, we're just gonna have the PlayStation 4. Xbox is like, fuck it, you can play everything on this, so guess we push forward.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just whose perspective do you think is right versus wrong, and yeah, go with it, kind
I
of a
mean,
thing. I
to be
mean,
fair, good.
I was gonna say there really at this point, I would say there really is no right answer. It's
Right.
all a thing of what does your line of consoles do, and like with the Xboxes, them the latest one being backwards compatible all the way back,
Mhm.
it makes sense to just say, okay, yeah, put a nail in the coffin on the old console, just have people keep moving forward, kind of thing.
Mhm.
PlayStation, you don't have complete backwards compatibility.
Right.
So that is something that they're working towards, but you don't have that as of right now. So
Right.
for them to make more PS4s just because PS5s are so scarce, it makes sense.
Sure.
So,
Sure. And I think that like that all comes down to a perspective thing, right?
mm,
Um just like you broke down. It just like, all right, fuck it. It just makes sense for us to push forward and fuck it. Let's just push more fucking PS4s. And those PS4s, because they already have the manufacturing, the distributing, all those lines are already like set up, done, and hell, for all we know, there may be lines of parts for the PlayStation 4 that they have fucking warehouses of that just haven't been utilized yet, too, right?
true.
So
Yeah.
that's a $0 fucking manufacturing cost. So that could totally make sense to them from their perspective.
Mhm. The
Um,
big reason that Sony cited though was to get the chipsets for the PS4. It's a lot easier to do, it's a lot cheaper to do.
yep.
So for them for that move, it makes sense.
Part of me still thinks that that means that they have a couple of warehouses sitting
Yeah.
around with those chipsets and they go, we're doing you guys a favor. It's like, no, no, motherfucker, you've got a fucking warehouse full of this shit and you're just trying to fucking sell it off to us and try to be like the good guy Greg about it. But again, who fucking knows? But I still think both options are viable, and frankly, I like the Xbox. The fact that it doesn't matter at this point.
Mhm.
Every person who has a PC ostensibly has an Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And realistically, if you want to break it down that far, everyone who has a PC effectively, aside from proprietary code and software, has an Xbox or a PlayStation. It's
sure,
the big difference is the proprietary software
right,
that the console runs off of.
right.
So, I mean, yeah, and with what we touched on as far as you mentioning how Microsoft can buy out Sony, it's like, are we entering a age where we will see a Nintendo console and a Microsoft console?
So it's funny that you mentioned that too, because when I was doing this deep delve into this fucking them owning Activision Blizzard, do you know that there is an actual inquest into them buying? The same thing happens when any two major companies buy each other. It happened when they bought ZeniMax,
Hmm.
etc. Um, but did you know that there was an inquest going on about monopolization?
Yeah, I figured that there was one going to
Yeah.
be happening.
Now, like, but here's the deal, like, how do you fucking regulate that? Like if it even came down to a system, let's say Nintendo headquarters burns to the ground, and so does Sony's, and it's a fucking earthquake in that particular. What? So what? They're just gonna sell Microsoft? You can't sell games anymore.
you're
No,
absolutely right. There is like you can't
this is
just sit
not a
there and
power situation. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like electricity getting into my house. That's how a monopoly happens. And by the way, not to become the fucking like left wing podcast yet again. I only have one choice for power here. You know how they fucking skirt that? They take the country and they divide it up into these big sections and they
Mhm.
go, you get your internet from Spectrum because you're in the Southwest. You get fucking Warner when you're in the fucking. That's how they skirt around it. But this is an issue of just entertainment. Okay, so if every movie studio minus one burned down, they wouldn't be like, you can't make movies anymore. They'd be like, oh, I guess this is our only choice of movies. Like, two very different things. Like, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? But it is weird to think, like, the future is coming, and Sony kind of is been realistically at this point, like 4 to 5 years behind on a lot of things. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, And Microsoft just keeps doing what Microsoft always does. Find me the fucking most profitable, biggest. It's the Disney move.
The
Find the
next big
fucking
thing, buy it
yeah.
up
Find me the
and
biggest thing. Buy that shit. Put it under the umbrella. Doesn't
yep.
matter.
Yep.
Disney's not going to get hit with monopolization until they become the only first city that is Disneyburg, USA.
Oh
You know what I'm
god.
saying? Like,
God,
um,
I seriously hope that does not happen.
and Texas is it's all on Ace. See, there you go.
Yep.
Like that's like so you get like we're living in a weird time where wow, we always do this. It's so fucking crazy. Uh, we're living in like a Wild West period, especially for entertainment. Look at even music and the LimeWire thing back in the day.
Mhm.
We're just kind of
Wow.
dude, how I know, but seriously, like how long have we had telephones?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like there is so much new technology over the last like fucking let's call it 60 years. That like we're still living in the wild wild west on this shit. Um it's kind of shake out weird. What you can do, I guess, is pay attention and like try to what?
You mentioned LimeWire and Blue now all of a sudden mentions Kaza.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one. Good
Yeah.
call. Good call,
It's
friendo.
like damn. Takes
Yep,
me back.
that's what we call, as the old people call, a deep cut.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
uh, I think that all this shit. I don't think Microsoft will have any interest in buying Sony, and I'm
No.
sure that like for Nintendo's part, Nintendo just kind of does what Nintendo does, right?
Yeah,
And
oh
I'm
yeah.
sure that Microsoft probably doesn't give a shit about that either. Um, the biggest thing, and again, this was talked about, I think we talked about it like summer of last year, was Game Pass coming to the Switch, where you could have your Game Pass subscription on the Switch. Because that's been rumored for a very long time. Which, by the way, I would also like to bring
Hmm.
this up. Do you remember when I brought up the fact that there was a rumor that Ubisoft's stupid fucking program was going to get rolled in? I was right about that too. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I am at like a high 80s% like correct. Just
True.
just putting it out
Very
there.
true. Very true.
Thank you. Thank you for at least admitting it. Appreciate you. Um, so I don't think that like fucking Microsoft's trying to buy those dudes out. I think that like, whatever. They don't give a shit. Like everybody's kind of doing their own thing. They're just kind of doing it slightly better, slightly faster, and that's kind of all that matters to them, Like
Mhm.
fucking like yeah.
Phil Spencer even was reported saying on record in regards to when questioned about Sony's version of their own Game Pass. And he said he thinks it's a great idea because it offers more competition. It offers more different viewpoints.
Yes.
And realistically, that's the best thing for industry. Doesn't matter
And
what
and
industry
and
it is.
right. And the consumers, right? That's
Yes.
best for consumers.
Yes.
More competition equals best for consumers.
Mhm.
If I had a Google like fiber choice here in fucking Orlando,
Yep.
I would get that
Oh yeah.
because fuck Spectrum. But I don't.
Yep.
Like, this is the only cable network. Like, yes, and like I really hate how they're like, "Oh, you could always get fucking satellite internet." Fuck you, dude. That's not even like you're comparing like a fucking full luscious fucking Fuji apple to an old pear that has been dried out and is now like the size of a fucking like a quarter inch. Like, get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. No.
Now if Elon Musk gets into the fucking mix, maybe we make our own internet, maybe then we can talk. But like I think that like all of that shit, he's completely right. Like competition is a good thing.
Mhm.
A competitive market always helps the consumer.
Yep.
Um, Now again, I hate to repeat myself, but Sony would be about 4 to 5 years behind,
Yes. Very
and
much
they
so.
would be now scrambling to try to. Dude, let's talk about literally what we talked about 15 seconds ago. They just bought Activision Blizzard, motherfucker. What are you gonna put on your stupid Sony network? More fucking SCEA games? Well, God of War's on PC now. Fucking whatever that alloy ass fucking title. Good.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't know if this Sony Game Pass version thing, whatever it is, I don't know if it was actually going to be coming to PC. Is the thing.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
it's
So
like,
they'd be
okay, so
still 3 years behind.
well, on top of that, it's like, okay, so you come up with a counter to Microsoft's Game Pass for Sony, and it's only available on your own consoles.
And
So
every
who are
other
you trying to
major.
convert over to your platform? Your
Right.
own people.
Right. Right. This is like going to a Mormon church and preaching Mormonism.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, yeah, no, yeah, you got 100% conversion rate. Good for you.
yeah.
Like, because it doesn't make any sense, and that's why Microsoft has been doing this for
Hmm.
now, like nigh unto 4 years, where they just keep buying new studios and allowing. Now we know for a fact Ubisoft is going to be on board.
Hmm.
Like the entirety of ZeniMax, fucking Bethesda. Now it's going to be fucking all the Blizzard Activision shit, dude. Like who else could you put on your like name me another studio that's that big that Sony could grab as an exclusive for their fucking PlayStation Now network?
Yeah, I mean, it really is hard to come up with anything, to be honest.
You got
Yeah.
Namco, like you got Pac-Man 99.
Well, I mean, okay, Bandai Namco, they started as
Sure.
PlayStation exclusives anyways, and then they went to, oh, by the way, we're now putting it on all consoles save for like Bloodborne and Demon Souls.
Right. The Capcom move.
Yeah.
That is what we call the Capcom 5. Like,
Yeah.
Ugh. All right.
W-
Let,
w-
let's move on. Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Good
We
God.
could take the whole show and talk about this
I
one
I
topic.
literally could. I
Yeah,
legitimately could.
yeah.
Impressive though.
Yes, yes. Um GDQ. Let's talk about this for a quick hot second.
Sure.
Uh
Made a boatload of money.
oh good lord, yes. GDQ, for those of you who aren't aware, Games Done Quick. They hold a week-long marathon in winter and in summer, raising money for charities. Winter here was Prevent Cancer Foundation. They raised $3,422,122.
Damn.
It was over 49,000 donations.
I donated $10. That's all I had.
Eh,
But I did. This is the first year I've done it though.
okay, okay, that's cool. I mean, they don't ask, "Hey, the minimum you have to donate is X amount."
No,
It's
but they
just,
take a buck.
if you can donate, cool. If you can't, enjoy the show. So they take a cool approach like that. Um, Average donation across all of their donations was $69.
Nice.
Nice. And they had the highest single donation,
Holy shit.
$236,656.
What company was it?
Didn't say.
It was anonymous.
Either it was by a company, or they did not reveal who the person or company was. So it may have been a thing of, hey, we're reporting this as it's done by this company, but for news outlet purposes, do not announce who this is. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I doubt that because, dude,
Yeah.
companies do that shit. Companies do that shit to be good guy Greg.
Yeah.
Dude,
Especially when it's going to charities. It's like, yeah,
right.
make sure
I
we're
was
known.
there. Right. I was there when Cash App gifted 250 subs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and everyone was like, Cash App, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, that's like 100% attention grabber. That's
Mhm.
crazy amount of money for a single donation, though.
Yeah. It's an odd amount of money, too.
Yeah.
200 and what was it? 236,656. That's a
Maybe somebody
very
was like drunk and they were typing it in and then they fell asleep and they're like,
Hmm.
wait, what? Are you thinking about the number?
I'm wondering, what does that convert to in some other foreign currencies? Because that might have been
That's
it.
Yeah, that's interesting because if it came from pounds, it would be maybe an even denomination. Is that what you're thinking?
Pounds, francs,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. No, it's
because
an interesting idea.
I mean, keep in mind, not only typically when we're talking GDQ, we're talking the American English channel on Twitch.
Right.
They also have French, German, Spanish, Japanese, Portuguese, Russian.
Yeah.
So fucking six
Right.
restreams officially. So
Right.
and that doesn't even include however many unofficial restreams there are. But yeah, I mean it's fucking awesome. This was the fastest that they've hit 1 million, 1.5 million, and 2 million in all of their marathon histories. So it's like, damn, they be doing good.
And it's still done from home.
Yep, it was a online event
That's
this
great.
year.
Could you
So,
imagine what they're gonna make when it's the first event like that, like
oh
people can
god,
go to?
oh god,
They're gonna
yeah,
crush, dude.
yeah. And the 3.4 million this year, this again was record setting. It's the highest amount that they've ever raised.
Which is great.
Yeah. So
And again, I watched a bunch. I'm still not even close to done. Great runs. Most everything that I've watched was great. There's of course some chairs and some couches that weren't the best, but dude, overall had a blast. Like
yep,
every year,
yep.
you know, good stuff.
Please say you saw that Sekiro blindfolded.
Still have not watched it. But I did see that it clocked in at what 2:30 or 2 hours 30 minutes.
I want to say it was under. No, it was over 2 hours. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it
I
was
think it was 2:30.
phenomenal. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
yeah,
That's gonna be a weekend thing where I can actually like watch. Because a
yeah.
lot of times I put GDQ on my second screen, like you know, and then kind of doing whatever.
Yep.
But that one I would like to watch that dude do that shit because that is crazy.
If you want to see a quick video, apparently a person, one of the runners did Stardew Valley, 17 minutes.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yeah, it's like holy crap, what the fuck. So
Sometimes, and I'll make this quick because we only have like half an hour left.
yeah, we're not getting to all our topics.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I'll say that sometimes I think that I do not like PC runs as much as I like console runs because console
Okay.
runs you're forced to deal with basically the hardware and the software that has been meticulously fucking like gone over by QA and
Mhm.
like all that. Whereas sometimes on PC runs, it's like I know clip through this. Dude, did you see the Five Nights at Freddy's security breach went down from uh 6 hours 3 minutes to 3 minutes flat, 3 minutes 8.8 seconds
God,
2 days ago.
what the heck did they do? Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Just
check
some
that,
no
look into
clip
that.
bullshit. Just some no clip bullshit. Like, and that's like the thing that like I would personally would rather see somebody who did it with skill than is just, you know, basically usually the fault is no clip.
Yeah,
So, you know, it is what it is. But
yeah.
just a me thing.
Do you want me to go again or
Yes. For the love
okay?
of God. I took up an hour of this fucking day.
Okay, okay, no worries. Steam Deck.
Oh yeah.
Going in the way back machine here. Steam Deck, that handheld, bigger than a Wii, than a Wii. Yeah, it's probably bigger than a Wii too, actually. But Steam's portable console. They say they're going to begin shipping the pre-orders at the end of February. They're
We're
on
still on
track.
track.
They're still on track to do that. Now, keep in mind, in order to get in for the pre-orders, all you had to do was put down $4. So that list of people on the pre-order wait list is insanely long. So the odds of being able to get your Steam Deck in the first wave, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Odds of getting it in the third or fifth wave, still probably not happening. But they say they're on track to begin shipping at the end of February, which is good.
No, it's great.
I'll put more faith in it when I start hearing about people using it and like that. But till then, it's kind of like, okay, it's in a weird market because I don't know what their exact target audience is supposed to be for that. Next item here. Game I want to actually pick up, but now I'm kind of like, maybe I'll wait a little bit first. God of War, the recent port to PC. Apparently, it's been having some players have been receiving a out of memory error when booting the game. The fun, interesting part of this is development studio has been working with players to figure out, hey, this is how you can go about fixing it. This is how you can work around whatever's going on, blah, blah, blah. And they've been looking into this already, and they think they have a fix. They have a hot fix already, actually. I'm sorry. But, quote, in our investigation of these issues, we found that the vast majority of these were happening to people with new 12th gen Intel CPUs with integrated graphics, and that disabling the graphics card allowed people to work around these issues. So you want me to use the integrated graphics on the CPU to run the fucking game? You want me to turn off my RTX 3090 Ti to fucking play this game?
That doesn't make sense.
Especially considering how that means that, okay, I disable my graphics card, I now need to unhook the monitor cables from the fucking graphics card, plug them into the damn motherboard to play the fucking game. It's like, what? No, that's not a fix. That's a go fuck you.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? Which is funny because I had read a couple of days ago that the PC one was actually being really, really highly touted.
Oh, okay.
So maybe this is like a small percentage of users.
Well, keep in mind.
Also, I keep in mind that this is an ultra widescreen version. By the way, did you notice that?
Okay, no, I didn't see any of that in the article.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe they like built it to like run on my redonkulous fucking bullshit, and people who aren't, maybe there is some like bug basically in there. That's crazy.
That's possible, yeah. But again, like they said, they think they've narrowed it down to new 12th gen Intel CPUs with integrated graphics.
You know what? Fuck the bourgeoisie. If you have a fucking one of those cards, fuck you. You paid fucking $5,000 for that, and I don't give a shit. I don't feel bad that you can't play that game. The rest of us can fucking play it. Eat farts, dude. That's how fucking shit should work.
No. Not the GPU, the CPU. They think
that doesn't make any sense either. That doesn't make any sense either. Like, neither one really makes any sense.
Yeah.
And also, fuck you. I'm not pulling my CPU apart to play fucking a game from, what, 2018? Eat shit. Mine is liquid cooled and it's not like a brand new one. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
That's garbage. Holy shit. That's really bizarre.
So, I mean, like you just said, it is really bizarre that they're like, oh, hey, this was more than likely the problem, and this is how you fix it. And it's like, well, with no graphics card, how do I play it then? But
I mean, to be fair, like again, this is fucking Sony's real first foray into putting shit on PC.
yeah,
This
it
is
is.
a Sony made title
Yep,
within Sony. The
being
fact that
ported
they
over.
wouldn't
Yeah.
right, that they wouldn't have like all the variations because that's like the crazy part for PC production, right? Is
Oh
you
yeah.
have to account for everybody's rig,
Hmm.
as opposed to this is what the PlayStation 4 is.
Yeah.
This is what the PlayStation 5 is.
Yep.
Like, so
Yeah.
that's kind of a little not surprising.
Developing for consoles is actually easier for those of you who don't
Much.
know. It's so much easier because, like Alex just mentioned, with the consoles, this is the hardware.
Right.
Until they come out with the next gen or like the Switch OLED, this is what the hardware is. When they come out with the next gen or the special edition stuff, then it's like, okay, we have to account for the original and the the PS Slim or the
Right.
Switch OLED, which
Right.
for the most part it's still accounting
Same.
for the same hardware
Yeah.
with a little bit of tweak here and there. With PC though, it's like, okay, you got to account for Intel based processors, AMD processors, NVIDIA graphics cards, AMD ATI graphics cards,
Right.
all sorts of things. It's so
The
much harder
spectrum
to
is
do.
huge.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even then, usually, even big AAA studios, they don't cover everything. A lot of times, what they'll do is
Damn.
they'll look at what is on the market today and sit there and go like, okay, we need to account for what's out there today and then a margin of error on both sides and go, okay, this is what we have to set up rigs for. Let's do it.
Right.
So,
But even then, the permutations of
oh god,
this and then this and then this and then that and then like
yep.
dude, the permutations are ridiculous.
Oh god, yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. And when I was working at Funcom, I was the one who had the joyous fun of using ATI graphics cards, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, fuck my life.
Yeah, because drivers for those things was an absolute bitch, and quite
Um.
often I had to change the drivers.
So. Okay, that's done. Um. Can I go next? Are we
Sure,
cool with
sure.
that?
Sorry if I took any of yours.
No, no. No. Well, no, because we both got to talk about that. Two things I just want to do real fast. Actually, no, one that I'll just do real fast. So, the fucking horror that is the current age Beanie Baby?
Okay, what is the current age Beanie Baby? I'm scared to ask, actually.
Really? It has three letters in it.
Oh, fuck, God,
And
no.
these.
Oh,
Um,
man.
just a follow-up story from last week. You know how Konami celebrated, and by that I'm going to do this, celebrated
Celebrated? Yes, yes.
Castlevania's 35th anniversary by making a set of NFTs. The
Mm,
collection sold for 120,000 British pounds.
yes.
All right, that was all I had to say about it because I don't want to talk about it anymore. Moving the fuck on. Unbelievable, dude. Unfucking believable. God.
The only
Beanie
thing
Babies.
the only thing I'm going to add to it, for
Go
those of
for it.
you who want the image for like their desktop of the NFT and whatnot, right click, save as.
Or just print screen. like,
Oh
yeah.
my fucking god! Why people are yeah?
Be-
Moving on.
Beanie Babies.
Yeah,
It's the Beanie Babies, dude.
yeah. It is. It is.
I just wanted to bring it up because I could not believe that they ended up like now to be fair, over 14 sites and I can't remember what the number was of how many of those NFTs they made. 140,000 British pounds is not that much money, but it's
No, it's
still
not.
an embarrassing amount of money. And I cannot believe that they found however many people they did to fucking purchase that garbage for
Mm-hmm.
fucking that much money. Okay, that's all I want to say. Let's move on,
Yep.
please, before we lose the entire fucking audience.
Okay. Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh,
It is going back on sale on January 25th.
I saw that.
They have announced plans to expand all data centers. I believe they said that they were starting with the Oceanic data center. To put it in simple terms, a game world is on a server, and then those servers are clustered into data centers. Simple as that. But the Oceanic one was I guess it is the smallest
Australia.
data center.
Yeah, it's
And
Australia. It's basically the bottom of Asia. It also includes New Zealand and Australia.
yeah,
That's what Oceanic covers.
yep. So they're going to upgrade that one. North America, which has two data centers, basically East Coast and West Coast, that is going to be done in a two-phase thing for upgrading both of them. Here's the question that a lot of people in the comments for this, when they read this news, though, brought up. Okay, so they're going to be putting it back on sale on the 25th of January. The first actual actions that they're plan for expanding data centers is going to be 6 months down the road. That really doesn't alleviate issues now, especially if they're going to be putting it back on sale. It's like, I mean, I get it. It's a brand new game that they want to get as many people in playing as much as possible, kind of a thing. And to not have it on sale means they're losing potential customers.
Yes.
But at the same point in time, you need to address the issues of, I've actually stopped playing it because of the simple fact of, unless I log in before 4 p.m., I don't get in. Like, I fall into a queue of at least 2,000 people, which takes at least about 2.5 hours to get through, just so I can log in. And it's like, I got better things to do. I don't want to sit here for 2.5 hours being like, am I in yet? I don't know.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna play devil's advocate as I
Okay.
normally do.
That's fine.
For my business brain, the fact of the matter is, you're right. You're losing money. You're not wrong about the queue times. That's not going to change. But here's the other thing: they know it's going to take that long, bruv. Like, it's not gonna it's not gonna change. You can't just instantly whip up new servers.
That
It
is
is
true.
not an instantaneous thing. So what their thought was, fuck it, put the game back up, say we have a plan in place, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Now, I will also say this. Anybody who owns a PC can text your loved one at fucking lunchtime and be like, hey, I know this is fucking stupid, but could you log me in right now? And maybe by the time I get home, or the instant you walk in the door, put yourself in that queue line, put it on your second screen. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? All it's trying to do is log in. It's not eating up tons of bandwidth. It's
Right.
waiting in line.
Right.
So I see where they're coming from, and I see where you're coming from, because at the end of the day, you're right. This helps nobody at the end of the day. But again, you can't. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yep.
Am I the first person who's ever said that? So, like, you know, I see where they're getting at. Like, probably pulling it off was like, okay, seriously, we need a fucking plan here, boys. And they just didn't even have a plan. And now it's like, okay, we at least have a plan. So it is what it is. Because you know what? At the end of the day, the game's good.
Oh,
Like,
hell yeah.
and so at least the game is good. At least it's not waiting for the fucking doors of Azeroth to open, and then you just get cucked for like a zillion hours and you hate the game.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I see it from their side too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that
No, I know. It's just what
Square Enix, you guys should have, like, done something better ahead of time, kind of a thing. Because no one really could have seen how big this was blowing up.
Right.
Ahead
Or how
of time.
badly fucking WoW was imploding.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. But this, I will say, the simple fact that they have quickly come up with a plan to expand all data centers, and I believe part of the plan was actually even adding in more worlds for each data center.
Oh, good. Good.
And I think there was also a mention in this plan of expanding data centers to currently in the game there is cross-world play within
Yes.
your data center.
Yes.
So if Alex is on one server on data center A and I'm on a different server on data center A, we can join up with each other. However, if he's on server 1 in data center A and I'm on server 1 on data center B, we can't join together.
Right.
I want to say they mentioned at the very least that they were looking into bringing cross data center play with a few caveats.
Okay.
That'll be huge.
Yep.
Because as far as I know, the only way to go cross data center at the moment is literally sit there and say, hey, here's $25, take
That's
my
exactly
character
what it is.
from my server, put it over on that server.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah. But they're going to be somehow doing this like in game, allowing people to party up together cross data center, and it's like, whoa, that's huge. That's a first. No one has even done that before, so that's huge.
We got to move past this.
Yeah.
So, Cuphead
Okay.
just dropped its first trailer for the show that they are doing, the animated show on Netflix. I watched it. Looks great.
Cool.
Honestly,
Cool.
looks great. I think it's very irreverent. The fucking animation quality is outstanding, just like the game.
Okay.
It is literally covering the entire game. Like the bosses, the reasons that they're all there. It's him and Mugman and the female one who I cannot remember her name. And it looks great. Looks fantastic. Looks super fun. It is dropping on Netflix on February 18th. So if you like Cuphead, if you like animation, it's still got that same weird, like dark tone. It's still funny. So just check out the trailer. There you go. I'm done.
Please say
Bam.
it still has the same animation style.
Does.
Good.
Totally does. Totally does.
Because I feel like it would really downplay everything they've built up in the game if they went with in a different animation style as opposed to like that old school, like the old Popeye
1920s.
cartoons.
Yep.
Yeah. That
Still the
that's
exact same.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
And the amount of frames, like in what they showed, holy shit, that was animated well. Like just like the game, where I'm like, wow, dude, a normal animator would be like, hit a tree branch, and then you're on the ground. It's like bam, boof, like all the way down. It really is very nice. So if you're interested in that and you have Netflix, it's a 2-minute trailer. It's not like a fucking teaser thing. It's 2 minutes. It really does. It left a very positive taste in my mouth. So, like Cuphead, you got Netflix, bammo. You're gonna get a free show on the 18th of February.
Cool.
Done.
Very cool. Okay. Crytek. They're the studio behind Crysis, the game that everyone is like, hey, but does your computer run Crysis? Yeah.
Way back in the day in 2008.
Well, oh, hey, that meme's coming back though, because they remastered it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But basically, what's going on with Crytek is there was a modder that added in photo mode to Crysis 2 and Crysis 3 remastered. Crytek has now slapped that person with a cease and desist for the mods, which is really kind of shitty. But here's the thing. It's shitty and not shitty at the same point in time. The reason why I say this is because they slapped him with the cease and desist for the mods. Fine, cool. Normally that would be shitty. But the modder has been effectively selling the mods by keeping them gated on behind a paywall on his Patreon. And at which point he's then making money off of Crytek. That is where Crytek is like, no. you can't make money off of what we do. So it's actually really shitty on the modder's part, to be honest, because yeah, he's making money off of an IP that he didn't make, and it's like, yeah, you really kind of fucked that one up there, buddy. The weird part was though that originally it was worded as Crytek slapped this modder with the cease and desist because it breaks the EULA of Crisis 2 and 3. When the modder then went back to Crytek and asked, okay, well, how does it actually break them? Break the EULAs? They countered with the main issue was the photo mode mods are being monetized on his Patreon, and it's like, yeah, you can't do that. I would seriously hope a 5-year-old would realize that no, you can't charge people money for something that you don't do.
Own.
Yeah, you don't own, you don't have the rights to anything like that. But apparently this guy was like, no, I'm gonna totally make mods for Crisis 2 and 3, add in a photo mode, which, don't get me wrong, the photo modes were actually, they showed screenshots and they're like, yeah, these are actually really good photos that are being done. But by having them behind a paywall on his Patreon, it's like, yeah, no, you can't do that. So here I would say, Crytek, cool for you for slapping this guy with the cease and desist. Dude who made the mods, fuck you. You should have known better.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really the paywall. That's
that literally is the only issue. If he put them out on like Nexus mods, Crytek would be like, we don't give a fuck. They're free.
Sure.
But because he put them behind a paywall, then Crytek was like, can't do that.
Yeah.
So
that'd be like a dude taking a photo of the Mona Lisa and then putting it behind a Patreon wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just, yeah, not smart.
Yep.
I got another one. It's kind of quick.
Cool.
I have been watching Maximilian Dude for almost a decade at this point. Literally 2 days ago, he broke 1 million followers on Twitch.
Cool.
The guy is awesome, really down to earth. He's basically started an entire channel just because he loves his fighting games. And the fighting game community is not a large community, and he kind of dragged a bunch of people together during the dark ages of fighting games. And so just big shout out fucking to him and his community to get it to that point. That's a crazy huge achievement. He had gotten 1 million follower or subs, I guess, on YouTube a bunch of years ago, but 1 million followers on Twitch is another very different feat.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, just wanted to shout that out. Good stuff. Good on you. And thank you for helping the FGC, frankly. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I've met him. Super nice guy.
Cool. Very
really
cool.
Down to earth human. So
very cool. Got one here about Twitch, seeing how we're already talking of it. Sure. Twitch is sitting here this past year, specifically August through October or so. We were talking about how there were hate raids going on and all sorts of crap like that.
It was pretty annoying.
Yeah. I can speak from personal experience on that, as I got hate raided a couple of times.
Experience. Yep. And I was here for a couple of them.
Yep. Twitch is sitting here trying to be the dog wagging its tail at the fact that it just took a shit kind of a thing. Saying, ain't I a good boy? And it's like, Twitch, yes, you may have come up with tools to help moderate some of this shit, but your lack of coming up with the tools in the first place is what caused the shit. Meanwhile, they're sitting here saying, hey, we did a good thing. We got rid of 15 million hate bod accounts. And it's like, well, you let it happen in the first place, so go fuck yourself.
The piss is already on the carpet.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not going to go away just because you ultimately got rid of the people that were originally behind the first wave of it. I mean, people will find ways to get around things.
Yeah, I
And
will say at least it has been better
yes,
lately.
yes, yes. And a lot of the tools that they implemented are things like, okay, uh, just as an example, to talk in my channel, you have to uh, you have to have an account for at least a week, I think it was,
Yeah.
and verify your either email and
You,
phone and or phone number.
yeah, same with
Um,
mine.
yeah, so it's like, okay, they've come up with some good tools, I will say that, but they can still
They
get.
have. But at the same time, tonight Jake caught one in my stream. I didn't even actually get to see what the actual chat was.
Mm,
Like Jake caught it so quickly that it was deleted and then banned. But that means tonight there was still a bot that still was able to do it, which means because I mean that's the problem,
yeah.
right? Like everything that companies try to do to stop cheaters,
Hmm.
cheaters just work at getting workarounds.
Yep.
So at the very least, wait, let's give him the golf clap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, hey, like I'll take it.
Yep.
And it has been better the last couple of months because I think it really was like around like September, October was
Hmm.
when it was like obnoxious,
Yeah.
like
Oh
where
yeah.
you couldn't like that was obnoxious.
Yeah.
So, you know, hey, step in the right direction. Thanks,
Yep.
Twitch. But seriously, probably should have been thought out a million years ago. But when, you know, Justin TV, like, you know, was like the thing, the original,
Hmm.
it's not like people thought about this. You know, it's just it hasn't been thought out again because we're in the Wild West, right?
True. True. But at the same point in time, when big name streamers are leaving in droves,
Right.
and their main complaint is Twitch is literally sitting on their ass,
Yeah.
shoveling in the money, and sitting there saying, "Go about your business,"
Yeah, that's awful for you.
and they're not doing the
Thanks.
thing. It's like,
Yeah. It's like a
Twitch,
shitty king.
you're the problem, and or you're the reason why we had this problem. You,
Sure.
Twitch, need to do something. Not sit here and tell us, the streamer, you as the streamer need to moderate your own chat. No, you need
Agreed.
to give us the tools to do that. And
And even
they've,
then,
yeah,
should we have to do that?
no,
No.
we
But
shouldn't have to. But
let's but let's talk back to reality.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I have one more.
Okay, go for it.
Um, so this was very bizarre. I found this on Rock Paper Shotgun.
Okay.
Um, Ubisoft is making an escape room VR title. We all know what escape room is,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Like we've all been to escape rooms, so don't really need to like, you know, the door's locked, there's a
yeah,
bunch of puzzle pieces. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Um, about the burning of the Notre Dame Cathedral that occurred in 2019. What? I was like, I'm sorry, what? So, say that again, but slower. Like, is when I read that title. So wait, so, I was like, okay. So the funny thing, and not coincidentally by any scope of the imagination, in my eyes, it is not the first VR thing that Ubisoft has done with the Notre Dame Cathedral. In 2020, they had made a virtual tour of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is like basically a repurposing of assets
Mhm.
with a burn like you're in the burning cathedral, which in a weird way, like I mean, it wasn't a terrorist attack. They actually like cleared it as like it was an accident,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. It was.
So but in a weird way, it still feels like I don't know, isn't this like a little inappropriate? Like, and I'm Alex Quino saying that like something's inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand how inappropriate something has to be when I'm like,
Oh yeah.
this seems a little inappropriate,
Yeah.
but it just seems super fucking weird. Like,
Mhm.
what a weird fucking concept. Burning cathedral escape room.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
really seem. I guess I haven't had enough beer to have it be like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. It's
Dude, I have had like way too many beers, and I'm still like, that's not a good idea. Like,
that's true.
what the fuck? Or is this what we're talking about here? Like, they were like, hey, we have a bunch of assets laying around, and apparently, um, this is not the first time. Even before that virtual tour, they had done a huge walk around for Assassin's Creed
Mhm.
before.
Yep.
Um, so again, I get, I don't know, like I can make this inappropriate in about 3 seconds. This would be like having like fucking interior photo shots of the Twin Towers, and like then like you decide to make a virtual tour inside the two towers before they fall, and then afterwards, now again I'm going very hyperbole here,
Yeah. Yeah.
like very far, but then I decide to make an escape room where it is you're inside of the two towers and you have to like puzzle your way out of them before they fall.
Yeah.
It's just, I
Yeah.
know it's not that extreme, I know it's not, but for some reason it just like pokes a part of the back of my brain where I go, that doesn't seem like great.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. I'm right
it's
there with you. It definitely is
it's
not the right.
inoffensive, but
Yeah.
it's inoffensive, but like I don't know, it just seems
Mhm.
fucking weird. Like it just seems weird.
Now, I will say this. As you mentioned, they did do scans of Notre Dame for whatever the Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed,
Creed
yeah, whatever the
2.
Assassin's Creed game was in Paris there. Um, the nice thing I will say in their defense, all the scans that they took, they then went to the French government, went to the people in charge
Catholic
of
Church.
the church, and said, "These are digital scans that we have that you let us take. Here, you're welcome to them to rebuild." And they just literally forked them right over and said,
And
"Please use
literally,
them."
so the repairs aren't going to be done until the end of next year.
Yeah, they're
So
hoping. I
there
want to say it was
is
24. I heard on the news.
okay. Well, the like that means that they also last year put out a tour that you could digitally take
Mhm.
virtually. That shit didn't exist. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So like in a way, yeah. But doesn't it seem a little
Hmm.
so you do a nice guy thing and then you're like, we're also making an escape room version that we're gonna sell for monies. Like it's like what the fuck? Like
Hmm.
it seems just like double handed, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it just seems a little weird. I it's not that I want to like make up a huge thing about it. I'm not gonna like make a huge point about it, but like it's a little weird.
This hand
But
reaches around front, and this hand coming up the rear.
right, exactly. And it's taking money out the back, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, hey,
Yeah.
that's uncomfortable.
I don't know, is what it is, but I just thought that I saw that and I was like, I would like to talk about this tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I have four things left. I'm going to do a very quick lightning round on it.
Hey, lightning round.
All right. Two of them being Halo Infinite. Apparently, a player has mapped out, a speedrunner to be specific, has mapped out the entire Halo Infinite campaign on the hardest difficulty, Legendary, and completed it without firing a single bullet. Swords and hammers don't fire bullets.
And those stupid tanks you can throw at people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't fire bullets, so it's like, oh, I'm just gonna sword and hammer my way through, and it's like, well, it's fucking still. It's like, okay, fine, we'll give it to you because we're splitting hairs. Wendy's. Apparently last week when it was National Roast Day for Wendy's.
Yep.
And Microsoft was like, okay, fine, we'll bite. Wendy's counters with,
Roast those.
hey, do you want to play some Halo Infinite co-op?
Good burn. Good burn.
So it's like, ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Good burn.
Yeah, definitely. In the NBA, a player by the name of Jarrett Allen. I have no clue as to what team he plays for. Don't bother asking me. I don't pay attention to sports at all.
Don't at me.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, and this is why I'm kind of like, Nintendo, what the fuck? Every time he scores in home games, the sound system people have been told play the Zelda secret sound effect. So like when you
I know.
walk through a secret wall or anything. Yeah,
There we go.
they've been told play the Zelda secret sound effect every time he
Can't do that.
scores.
Can't do that.
And it's like, Nintendo, you are so cease and desist slap ban happy on all the player made stuff to help get the experience of your games out there to the masses. Where the fuck are you for this?
Also,
Just saying.
that's confusing. That's okay. That's confusing because the secret sound is for secrets.
Yep.
So is his name maybe like secret? Like his nickname? Because it doesn't like logistically make any sense. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally see what you're saying.
Because like the na 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 na, I would almost understand more.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yep.
Like,
yep. Totally understand where you're coming from.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, there is like he doesn't have any sort of like
nickname
or anything like that. So I'm just kind of like, Nintendo, where the fuck are you on the cease and desist on this, please?
And why? Yeah, that actually leads to more questions. Like if I was in the stadium, I'd be like, "What the fuck?" Because I'm a gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be like more confused than like hype.
But then also on that same note, you as a gamer going to a professional basketball game would be like, what the fuck?
I've gone to. I actually like sports, but like
I'm just
like
on you.
I would busting, man. Wow, talk about a deep cut. I'd be like, so okay. The other day, okay, all right, we're gonna have to pull this back for a hot second. The other day, my fucking ex-girlfriend put up some dumb Twitter post, and she was like, "Fuck talking dirty to me. I just want to fucking talk in Nintendo cheat codes." And I was like, all right, I don't want to say anything. I was laying in bed. It was like fucking midnight. And I was like, don't say anything. Just don't say anything. And then I was like, no, I have to say something. Okay, here's the problem with this. The fact of the matter is, you'd get quotes wrong, and that would take me completely out of the pleasure that I was getting right in that particular second. Because one of the things she said was game over. And I was like, so I would say, I mean, do you mean you died like from Dark Souls? Is that like the series you're talking about? Like your references are just bad. Like you're now killing my boner a little bit by like bringing this up. Like, so that's kind of where I lie. And so if this is happening, not the na, which again wouldn't really make sense if it was a steal. Right?
Yeah.
And it went na, like, okay, you like grab something, like I can understand that. The secret noise, maybe even, but like you score and it makes the secret noise. That doesn't make any fucking sense logically for us, like nerd boys. Like,
makes no sense.
I'm trying to like think of another.
And don't even pull out the Chewbacca defense on this, because that makes no sense.
What if you follow, like, if you foul a guy, right, and he gets like knocked to the ground, and then it's just a bah, you died thing, like the noise. That I would be like, okay, cool, perfectly in line. Like that would be like perfectly in line. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, this is only because you and I are like, kind of nerds. Okay.
All right, last thing I've got. G4 TV. Believe it or not, it's coming back.
It is.
Which is kind of cool. Apparently last week, I believe it was on the 12th or 11th, something like that. One of the hosts of X-Play, a woman by the name of Indiana Froskerin. I know I'm mispronouncing that. Frosk for short. But Indiana Black, she's a host on X-Play. She absolutely ripped the X-Play audience, the G4 TV audience, an absolute new one over sexism in the gaming industry.
Oh,
like,
Jesus Christ.
She absolutely went to town for like 5 minutes. And the whole time, live on air, and the whole time, Adam Sessler and the other hosts were all sitting here going, they were 100% completely behind her on it. And it's like, yep, everything she's saying is true, because a lot of people out there might not remember the original time G4 was on the air with X Play, and how it was like Olivia Munn and
Yep.
I can't remember, Morgan Spurlock, Morgan
Yes.
no, Morgan Spurlock's the dude who did 30 Days. Morgan
Oh,
yeah, some other chick, and her main comment was, "I'm not as bangable. I might not be as bangable." Like, with male audience members specifically, sitting here thinking, I might not be as bangable as previous hosts, and it's just like, she's hitting the nail home pretty damn hard. Like, she's like, the nail is sitting there, and she's taking a sledgehammer and going wha-bam.
That's fucking super dangerous for your career, though.
Yeah, but when pretty much the rest of the people in the channel that she works for is sitting here going, yes, you are 100% hitting the nail on the head. It's like, yeah, we as players in this industry and fans of the industry need to be aware that, unfortunately, this is a problem that is in the industry.
I will agree, but this is saying that attractive people basically aren't more marketable. The fact of the matter is, like, male or female, attractive people are always more marketable. And yes, I think it's fucked up. Like, dude, I don't have, look at this. Like, I am not an attractive human. Like, so I get it, but like,
and I am.
It's just, dude, you actually are. You're a handsome young lad, except for the gray. Like, I said young.
That's what I'm laughing about.
I said young. But like I'm just saying, like, fucking, like, I don't know, man. Like, because this is what we're talking about is almost past G4. Now, the old school G4, I agree. They basically hired hot girls, right?
Yes.
Like, to do, but here's the thing. What about Alicia, fucking the fucking sexiest fucking woman ever, the one who hosted all the Ubisoft stuff. She was on Friends. Jesus Christ, why can't I remember her name? Fuck, that annoys me. Yes, of course they were trying to market towards like fucking 13-year-old boys. Duh. Why wouldn't you? But like, well, at least 13-year-old straight boys. Like, let's be also more specific. But
True.
At the same time, like, dude, Henry Cavill exists. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only people we put in front of cameras are basically traditionally good-looking people. Like, you know, like, and it basically counts me out. And frankly, if it wasn't for Twitch, I don't think either of us would even come in the top 1 million of people they put in front of a camera. So like, whatever, like, I get it, like what she's saying, and I totally agree. But that literally could cross every boundary of media. Like, that isn't, like, I would have been like, hey bitch, not to fucking like lower your point, but the fact of the matter is, seriously, the only people that people put on camera, pick a nationality, pick a fucking theme, pick a topic. Look at fucking CNN. Look at fucking, I don't know, Indonesian CNN. It's always gonna be good looking motherfuckers on the fucking sports, weather, and fucking like, dude, that's just how it is. I don't know what to say about that.
Right. I get that. Okay, we want the attractive people to be on, or at least
camera.
Those that are effectively like eye pleasing, neutral, not ugly. Let me put it that way. Throw a PC out throw PCness out the window. Those that are not ugly. Let's just go there. But to go more in depth with what she said, if you're tuning into the show to literally just spank it, is the like direct way that she was kind of going,
Sure.
then you need to fucking like check your damn self, because you're fucking going about everything wrong,
I agree.
to be
And
honest.
but again, does that change anything?
Yeah, I know. I
Because
know.
again, the fact of the matter is, dude, we only put attractive people on camera. Like that is just kind of how it is. Like,
Mm.
especially in mainstream media. And by the way, G4 was a mainstream like channel
Yep.
that was piggybacking off of a network.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, that's like, I appreciate your little fucking tirade. Like, I do. By the way, that does sound demeaning when I called it a tirade.
Mm.
But like, that's a fucking tirade, dude. Okay, cool. Then you know what? The next time I go on camera, I'm gonna go, hey, America, if you want people to fucking just sound like this, dude, you sound like somebody who's in a truck at a Denny's and you're gonna have some fucking like right wing agenda speech that's coming next. It's the exact same thing on the other side. There's nothing you can do about shit like that. Like people with symmetrical faces and tight waistlines, good abs, and who can do more than, I don't know, climb like half a brick. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, it is what it is. Like there's nothing we can do about it. The real reality of it, like the real clap of it, would be like all of us going, this really shouldn't even have to be a fucking conversation anymore. I don't give a shit. Are you
True.
smart? Are you knowledgeable? Do you care about what you're reporting on? Those are the things we should talk about, not what you fucking look like. Pointing it out, like, makes it, I don't want to say cringy because it's not cringy. It's just douchey, kind of. Like, and it seems a little self effacing. Like, get used to this fucking body because this is what you're going to see. It's like, okay, cool. Why did you even bring this up? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, I know it, but this is why I'm the other side of that coin for you,
Right,
right?
right.
Like, I don't know. I don't like any of that shit, frankly. One side or the other. But the other problem is she is right on one way because you know what? Blondes get more fucking camera jobs.
Well, she is blonde, actually.
Wow, the irony there. The fucking irony there. Like, holy shit. Um,
So,
I don't know.
but I mean,
That kind
okay,
of stuff.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, everyone's vision of beauty is different.
No, I've
I
seen your husband. Swish.
ouch.
I love you and I love him. Come on, you know that.
True, true,
Brains are more important than anything else, is what I'm saying.
true,
But
true.
you're not wrong.
Um, but I mean, there definitely is a lot to unpack as far as sexism in any industry, really. Um, but like you also said, as long as your skills within the industry are good, that should be the thing that matters.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. And your passion. Like, dude, you know why some ugly people are on camera? Like Gerard Khalil, the fucking completionist. You know, he's on the new G4. That's a fat, beardo, chubbo moron.
Yep.
I love him. But it's because he gives a shit. He cares about the fucking industry. He cares about gaming. Like that's what people identify with more than looks. Cause fuck that like 2% of people who jack off to, you know,
Sexism.
the fucking newscaster or whatever. Most people identify with people who have a similar viewpoint as you. And that's why
Mhm.
Gerard is now on G4. And I think that's a great thing. I think that's more to a fucking applaud than a person standing up being like, I'm different. It's like, bitch, you still have blonde hair. Not to be that guy, but look at the percentages. Um, it I just think that, like, the thing that people care about most is passion and heart and your personality, right? Like people really care about people's personalities more than anything else, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Um, as far as whether she is natural blonde or not, I have no clue. I'm not even going to go into that because
Years.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. As far as the guy you mentioned, Gerard, there, I think he was actually in one of the people on the couch with her.
On the desk?
Yes.
Yeah, of
So it's
course.
like, okay, interesting.
Hey,
Um,
well, you know what, dude? I'm gonna clap for something like that if I'm in a position where, dude, okay, all right, now let's be ultra real. Let's say you and I are on the couch, right?
mhm,
And a person, doesn't matter if it's a male or female, goes up and has some fucking huge speech like that, and maybe that guy's a leper, or he's got one arm or two fingers and one arm, and he's like, you only need me to point some things out, and we're like, yes, hilarious. Of course we're gonna do that, dude. Like you have, was that live? Yeah, dude. Of course you're gonna do that. The other thing you could do is, do you remember when that dude was like Hong Kong revolution of our time, and those two announcers were like, they were
yeah,
literally trying to hide from camera. No, you're gonna fucking try to be sportive and like cool about it. Like of course. Like again, there's so many like ways to look at everything. And I just feel like it really doesn't fucking matter who you are and what your dumb face is, or boob size, or dong size, frankly. Um, are you fun? Are you affable? Would be a great fucking adjective to use here. Somebody that people like because of who you are. And I think that's more important than
mhm.
anything else.
Oh yeah,
Like I don't give a shit past that. Like if you're cool, if you're smart. Now there are so many fucking people who are dickholes to ladies outright, especially in esports and in journalism, even sports journalism. You
mhm.
know, because the males like typically dominate the viewership. So I get that. Um, but making a whole fucking thing about it, that is not how professionals do things. Professionals don't mention shit. Like, it is, I do my job. I love this community. I really care about what I'm talking about. I don't fucking bring in a soapbox to put down to fucking make some point for nothing. Have I ever once even mentioned that I'm vegetarian here? Have I ever been like, I'm vegetarian and anyone right? Like, no, dude, no. It's fucking stupid. That's an asshole douchebag thing to do. Like, it's just I just don't like shit like that because it feels like she probably wrote out that entire thing the night prior. That was clearly not a thing that she just did spontaneously, right?
Um, I'm not gonna say it was spontaneous. I'm not gonna say it was scripted because I mean I would assume it has to go through some sort of approval to have it
Vetting.
on the vetting. Yeah, on
Yeah.
the to be on air.
Yeah.
So
Right. Which makes it way more disingenuous. Just does. I like just putting it out there. Me, when I do this, like, which is terrible and stupid sometimes, and I talk about jizz like 3 seconds in to a fucking episode, like, this is just me like saying stuff because like fucking that's how I feel at that moment. This is not something that I had to vet. This isn't something that like I was like, I'm gonna make a point and I'm gonna write this down in my fucking goddamn. Okay, no, take that line out. That's too much. Don't want to seem like Rosa Parks because like that's what that shit reads like when I hear that shit. It's just not cool, man. Like, be yourself. Why even mention it? Like, or somebody else told her that like you might not be as, I guess, what would they call that? Like marketable, I guess.
yeah.
You know, and maybe that was mentioned to her from a higher up, and so maybe this was an idea to like, I don't know. I just like all of it just seems not good to me.
Well, part of the thing as far as why I'm actually glad she did what she did, if we start going down the road of reporters not mentioning things, we wind up with Activision Blizzard.
No, that's very different. That is apples to oranges. That is apples to oranges. Dude, okay. So every episode, we should start off saying, as a fucking heterosexual male and a homosexual male, these are our opinions of gaming. Do we have to do that every episode? No, we don't. Because it's fucking retarded. Boom. I used the word retarded. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. I'm just saying, like, that's fucking stupid. Like, I don't understand if audiences only care about who you are and how much your passion is for whatever you're reporting on. If I was like super into rain and I was a meteorologist and I was like, tomorrow's gonna be rain, let's fucking go. People would love me. Be like, okay, I hate rain, but like, dude, that guy's super into rain, so like I'm kind of a little excited. I just don't see the point to point out differences. Like what we should be focusing on is the fact that we have commonalities in the reason that you're here as a viewer. Period. End of statement. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're going. And I'll be honest, we could spend at least another hour and a half
Oh, dude,
easily.
I literally will. I will sit here and have this whole conversation with you because like I just feel like, ooh, I almost fucking understated my entire premise by saying I am a straight white male and I have my straight white male fucking, but it has nothing to do with that. Like I just always like people who are really into what they're into. And I don't think that like who you are and what body walks your dumb head around, all I give a shit about is your brain and the words that come out of your stupid mouth. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me your counterpoint. Come on. Let's be honest with each other. We've been best friends since we were like 3.
Right, right. And the biggest thing is going back to it. If we start having reporters turning blind eyes, we start having problems.
Is she reporting? Is she reporting on like the state of old G4?
Honestly, I read through the article. Nothing was really about G4. But the thing is, though, the main premise was sexism in video game industry, period.
Agreed. But
And if we start
point out the
having...
body thing. Do you see what I'm saying? That
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
just seems weird. Seems like an insecure person. Like,
But if that's why people were tuning in, it's valid point.
then skew the point to be like, dude, hey, just FYI, this is gonna be more of a news thing from now on. Just like this show, right? Like this is a very opinion piece, right?
Mhm.
Which, by the way, every week I always put that in our fucking video game news. Opinion piece is the second part, and then beers.
Mhm.
Um, that's an opinion piece, like that should have been like framed as such, not just like I don't know, man. Like, dude, I'm cool with like, and it's not like I've ever been like, yeah, you're right, ladies. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing in this industry. No, it has nothing to do with that.
Mhm.
But like to frame it like that, that's what news stations do. That's what fucking Fox News would do. That's what
True.
CNN to try to put it to a place where here is our viewpoint, be it right or wrong, it is still focusing on the non-issue. The issue is fucking gaming news, and what the fuck are we even talking about here? Now, if it was an entire back and forth between her and Bobby Kotick at a desk, and she was ripping him a fucking new one, I would be laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Not a soapbox of one person just being like, "Meh." Like, no, you want to make this into a fucking thing? Let's make it into a story. Let's talk about the issue.
Right, right. As far as whether her speech, I will say, was during a segment where everybody went through and did a opinion piece or not, I don't know. The article does not mention that. Her video, it starts with her talking and then at the very end, camera panning out. and like that. So whether it was part of a larger opinion piece where everyone was trading opinions back and forth and whatnot, I don't know. All
I
I
could be
know,
okay with that.
yeah. So I don't even remember know what show it was on, to be honest, on G4.
Because I
But
could be okay with that. Like a panel conversation about shit like that is a good idea, right?
mhm.
Because that is an open dialogue. When one person is just sitting and spewing, and I don't care if it's even the side that I'm sitting on, if it's just one person sitting and spitting an opinion, I don't feel like that's a conversation. That's a speech. Like that's a fucking
Oh yeah,
standing on top of the soapbox. And you want to have a conversation, it should be a panel conversation. Like I just I don't know. And to be fair, I am contradictory and like that is like my nature, but like, dude, it feels disingenuous to just be like, I'm a woman, so therefore all this is wrong. This is my opinion. Peace out. It's like, okay, cool. Can we at least have some other opinions and maybe talk about this for longer than 14 seconds? Now again, that is because of the way that my stupid fucking brain works, because I want to have these conversations and I want them to be open. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I want to have these conversations to be open conversations, because the only way we get any real change is to have these conversations
yes.
openly.
Mhm.
I can say my opinion in a civil manner. You have your opinion in a civil manner. There's a discourse there,
Mhm.
right? Like
Oh yeah,
there's that to me is more important than an opinion that I 100% agree with. It is more important to me to have a fucking discord, ha ha ha, like
yep,
about it. Like,
yep.
like
Oh yeah, yeah. Because honestly, that is how things get done. Is people come together, talk about all the different sides, all the different angles of of a topic, and find the way forward that best meets everybody's viewpoint and
right,
needs. Not
right.
okay. This is what I want. Therefore, we're going with this way.
That's
Um,
exactly right.
as far as her being to for what you said, getting on a soapbox and preaching and like that, probably not the best way to do it. But at the same point in time, the topic of her ripping into people being sexist, coming into the audience with sexism kind of views as to just get their rocks off, she basically laid down the pavement saying, hey, if you're here to just get your rocks off by looking at eye candy, go somewhere else.
That's fair. But you also realize that, like, by doing that, all you're doing is just poking a hornet's nest of people who are troll assholes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even people who might fucking agree
Oh yeah. Yeah.
will still make an argument against you, because you basically just came in with like a nun with a ruler,
They came in with their viewpoint and said, we need to go this way. Yeah.
right?
And
And
instead of
you showed up with your, like, just crack you on the knuckles.
mhm.
Well, you're almost making more opposing shit if you just had never mentioned it. Like, I just don't, mentioning stuff that actually matters is much more important than being like, hey, feminism. Yeah. It's like, dude, I agree. Feminism, yeah. But when you do that, it makes all those like 13-year-olds up until they're about 45 and they're still those same mental 13-year-olds. Those dudes are going to be like, oh, just can't wait to go to the comments and say a bunch of stupid fucking obnoxious shit. Like, dude, it doesn't help the situation when you do that. It's literally actually the reverse of that. You've now given a reason, like, why somebody who literally supports what you were saying to go, this didn't sound like, this sounded like what I was like in first grade, and my fucking teacher was kind of going, all right, we're gonna have the first time we're gonna talk about sex ed, and we're gonna talk about breasts and penises, and everyone's no, don't laugh at those words. It's like,
Yeah.
now you've made those words twice as funny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's the real problem. We need to go into these conversations like adults and not fucking make it like it's this taboo thing to have an opinion one way or the other. We need to fucking have these conversations like adults and be like, hey, just FYI, the tone of the network is different, and we're here as a group to talk about things more openly. And like, even on this show, I always try to play a little bit fucking shit. Even before, even when Smarter Than I was just a podcast, I always play devil's advocate because we need to have other voices that can be spoken for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always good to see both sides of the same coin, or multiple different angles of the topic, or whatever
a
is going on.
20-sided dice.
Yes,
Which,
yes.
like, I don't know. That's a little. I get where she was coming from, and that probably did come from a really genuine place. But the vetting, the fucking soapbox, and the fucking night buddy, that to me, like, it just, I don't know, doesn't
Yeah,
feel good.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But hey, if she ever wants to come on this show and fucking have out like a 3-way conversation, I'm in for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And like I said, the article didn't mention it was part of a larger opinion piece kind of thing. The video that was posted on hers and G4's Twitter feed, it didn't show a larger segment. It was her speech, and that was it.
sure.
So what else happened during that segment? I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up.
I kind of want to go back and look it up too. Whether there's VODs of it on Twitch or wherever, recordings of it on YouTube or whatever, I don't know. So maybe
I'm also kind of interested to see what Gerard is doing there too, frankly. Because I want to know, you hire the completionist. He comes from a very set background. So I'm kind of interested to see where they put him. Um,
okay.
Out of sheer curiosity. Because I don't have cable TV.
Okay.
You know?
I have cable TV, and I don't know if I get the channel. I have no clue as to if I get G4 or not.
Yeah, which is also problematic.
Yeah.
The girl from G4 had a little bit of a little soapbox moment. And yeah. Sorry, K9 just showed up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to dig it in anymore.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Especially considering how it's 11:30.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, Kay, I'm gonna hit you up in a minute, and I'll tell you the story. But yeah. Okay. Well, fucking, let's go say goodbye. Did we kill our entire audience with that?
Probably.
No, actually, not so bad. It's not the worst. It's not NFT talk, so good for us.
Yeah. Yay. It's not NFT talk. Woo.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Dude, whenever we talk about fucking like politics and like fucking like smart stuff, people are like, "Ooh, and I'm out."
Yeah, but there are times that we kind of actually have to on this show.
I know.
Unfortunately.
It's not annoying. Like,
yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go say goodbye, and I will talk to you in a second.
Yep. Catch you later.
Later.
Alrighty, guys. That is it for tonight. Went a little bit extra by half an hour, so you guys got 25% more show tonight. Definitely a lot of things to talk about, but I will catch you guys later. Might be streaming tomorrow. If we do, I'm kind of thinking to do more Dark Souls 3 Convergence mod. I don't know. We'll see how things go. Earlier today, I wasn't feeling great, so I took part of the day off. Matter of fact, I'm still really tired and I'm probably gonna hit the go to bed and fall asleep instantly. So